Alright guys, what we're going to do today, we're going to start off on the eastern shoreline of Lake Pontchartrain. We'll be looking for trout and reds, and we're going to be fishing some of these old abandoned camp islands. And let's see what we can do here throwing products from MatrixShad.com. Double trouble! Got a little double up here. Like I said, we fishing these pilings. Look at him shaking his head. Big old hammer. Big old yellow mouth. Oh, and I just missed him. But we out here fishing these shorelines on eastern Pontchartrain. I'm using the limbo slice. And what happens is, as we get into the winter and the shrimp start leaving the lake, and you get these nice falling tides, that's when I like to fish over here. It's on a falling tide. It's when it falls, it sucks all of the shrimp out the lake into the wriggly. Oh, there he was. And that's where this is located. It's like a little suction zone right at the mouth of the wriggly. So on that falling tide, everything coming from the chef down the shoreline, right in front of the hospital wall here, it all gets sucked in. So sometimes they're actually up on the pilings, using it as hideout, eating bait fish off the barnacles, stuff like that. But when it's shrimp in the area, they'll just get way off the shoreline. And if you do see birds diving, you definitely want to go check that out. But just float around these shorelines here in eastern Pontchartrain, and you can catch some really, really nice fish in the wintertime and get away from the boats. Alright, let's get this one in the boat. There we go. There we go. Get him, Simba. Yeah, what I was saying is, in the fall, winter, whoa! In the fall and winter, them white shrimp are leaving the lake. As Simba did a little back somersault for y'all there. And got a few birds hovering around. And just this area in general is just a great, great zone to target. This one on the floor. I had 2 bites in a row right there. A little limbo slice getting the job done. Limbo is named after a good friend of ours, Josh Lim. He requested that color. Used to be a guide out of Pensacola, Florida. And I'm just throwing off the shore out in about 8 to 10 foot of water. Just let that current sweep me from the chef towards the wrigglies. Just doing that Pontchartrain pop and trying to locate these fish. There we go, pupperoos. But yeah, basically, when the fish come in the lake, I preach this all the time, and they're not just on the bridges, they're on all kinds of structures. We've shown you all 3 bridges hold them, the reefs hold them, old abandoned camp piles hold them, but the one thing that is pretty consistent in the fall and winter is you're looking for 7 to 15 foot of water. That's kind of the magic zone. That's where that Pontchartrain pop everybody talks about is very effective, and you're bouncing it off the bottom, pop, 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 and you're elevating it, and then fish get real suspended this time of year too, so those hard pops can really help you get the attention of some fish that are up high in the water column. Put it back on. Oh, there. On the reel end. On the reel end. There you go. There you go, folks. There you go. There you go. Get the chewing. Get the chewing. Hold on, Simba. Let me get him. Let me get him all fixed up for you. There you go. Go get him. Go get him, Simba. Get him, Simba. Those shrimp, when we're fishing areas that have shrimp, and when we see birds hovering around in areas like this, it tells us that this area is productive and has life. But you'd be surprised how long the shrimp do hang out in the lake. You know, with these winters we've been having lately, they're pretty mild. You know, it takes a lot for those water temperatures to get below 55, and I find that anytime they're in the mid to 50s all the way up to 70 degrees, you have the potential to still have shrimp in the lake, and that's always going to be one of the primary food sources here in Pontchartrain, those white shrimp in the fall and winter times. We're getting into the deep part of the winter, but we're on a warm front, a warm-up pattern right here. Got a nice little east wind. That's another reason we came this way. Got the shoreline blocking any kind of wind or wave activity. It just makes it nice and calm when we're over here. Water's here. That's your basic average fish. Wintertime Pontchartrain. Simba, you are gonna fly out the boat, dude. Got him hooked right in the corner of the mouth there. But that's it. That's what we're looking for. Them old yellow mouse chasing shrimp around. Throwing that matrix shad. Got the limbo slice in there. Doing work. This might be a pretty good one here. Pretty good one. You can see the contour in the background. This spot just screams fish. We got rocks and coves on the shoreline, and it's just a plethora of just old rundown camps that's been hit with the hurricanes over the years. Oh, look at that. Look at that stud, y'all. Yeah, baby. That's a good one. Oh, big old studly. Studly right there. But what I was saying is, this spot just screams fish. It's got all of these abandoned camp islands. And what those old pilings do is they just hold barnacles. The older the better. Been saying that forever. But it would work. Just a beautiful fish, and the more barnacles you got on pilings, it's just like bridge pilings. It's going to attract bait fish, which is going to attract these big Mongols like this right here. Beauty, beauty. Look at that pretty one there. That one I came up tight to the bank. Got a little point right here. Throwing it right off that point. They get resituated and see if they got a few more on there. Alright, so there's different ways of fishing these pilings. Earlier, we were basically just tied off to the end of the runways and throwing out, basically to the middle of the current line. And sometimes, you know, that's the place to be. That's where the fish are, especially if you see some birds hovering out there. But sometimes if you don't see the birds, it's better to come in tight or closer to the shoreline, as these fish will get really buried in all of this junk that's around here. There's all kinds of old abandoned pilings sunk down. You're going to go through some snags fishing in here too. So bring you a good amount of jig heads. But I do find the bigger ones are typically closer to the shore or closer to a set of pilings. But your bigger schools of fish will be at the end of the runways, throwing out kind of into no man's land. Now naturally, if you're throwing it up close to the bank, it's only going to be like 3, 4, 5, 6 foot of water, and off the end of the runways, it maxes out at about 12 foot, and that's kind of the water columns that you're trying to really target and focus on. This trout had a lot of heart in him, like rocket. Oh, that's why. They always fight so good when they're hooked in the belly like that. I knew that fish wasn't fighting right. But another beauty. And I'm all back. And go back on my recliner there. So the first couple, right when I started this drift again, up tight to the bank, and then bam, threw this one way out to Never Never Land. Good fish too. Good fish. That's Simba bud. I'm throwing a little bit of avocado also. That's a good one, especially this time of year. Trout are real known not only to be eating shrimp, they eat oyster worms, and that's the closest thing that we have to mimicking an oyster worm. There we go, y'all. All right, y'all. Go ahead and close it out right here. I was using the limbo slice all day. Jeff's been using avocado. Both very effective. Got this last one here on our matrix rod. Just bouncing a 3/8 ounce jig head on the bottom out here. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. Nice, short and sweet. It ain't but 7:30 in the morning probably. Got a whole box of fish here. Take a look at these. Nice start to the morning. That's a beautiful one right here. Look at that hammer Jeff caught earlier. But make sure to subscribe to our monthly bait box. I will be giving out some limbo slice matrix shads. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And do not be shocked when you see shrimp skipping, birds working. And look, there's other places besides the bridges. Come fish some of these old beat up pollens. We have tons of them in Lake Pontchartrain. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Till next time, good fishing.